Hi folks, this is Chris Voss from thechrisvossshow.com, thechrisvossshow.com, coming here with another blog post. If you need social media consulting and help with your marketing from a company that really knows what they're doing, give us a call at Strategics One Consulting. One of the blog posts I want to share with you here, it's a very simple paradigm, but it goes into depth, and we'll talk about that. If your business isn't growing, it's dying. Okay? If your business is expanding, it isn't getting bigger, the revenues aren't increasing, your business is dying. It's a very important factor to think about. When I used to sit and look at my monthly reports on the balance sheets and the income statements for the companies, that's like the first thing that goes through my head. Is it increasing from last month? On all costs, the margins between what we're doing in revenues, between what we're doing in our gross income, net income, et cetera, et cetera. Is stuff increasing? Technically, if your revenues begin to go down on a consistent basis, it's going to, of course, reduce your profit margin and eventually put you out of business. So it's one of the most important things you want to take a look at when you're building a business. You can take it down to the smallest or simple thing, from being a very small business person, even working at home, whatever the case may be. But you want to take a look every month at your income statements, your balance sheets with your corporation or your company, whatever you're doing, and say, is my business growing? Is it expanding? Maybe if you're a networker, is my networker expanding? Am I adding new people? The one thing a lot of people forget, and I talked about this in a prior blog about not using absolutes in your marketing. The one people don't get is there's a certain amount of attrition that happens in business. There's a certain amount of clients that you lose, that disappear, they never come back. You've got to keep replacing those clients. You've got to keep adding new business. I always refer to it as feeding the machine. We've always got to feed the machine. And that's really what you do as a business. As you grow, you become bigger. But as you become bigger, there's also more expenses that are involved in what it takes for you to, turn that widget into profit. And as you grow, usually things get more complex, they get more expensive, it gets even more crazy as to what it costs to produce stuff and what it costs to maintain with managers and mid-level management, et cetera, et cetera. So it gets out of hand pretty quick. And what you always have to be constantly doing is not only making sure your revenues are growing, and of course making sure your profit or your bottom line is growing with it, or at least you're making substantial investments with what you're spending on every month to make that grow. Like capital investments, you're buying large computer systems, different things of that nature that are going to get you a higher return on profit in the future. So keep in mind with that in business, you might want to write on your wall, a business isn't growing, is dying. It's very important that once you start seeing things going down on a consistent basis, that the alarm bells go off and go, hey, we're going to probably be running out of money and blah, 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 and blah, blah. Everybody has a bad month. Everybody might have a bad quarter. But you need to be able to identify, okay, why is this happening? Is this because of kind of extraneous expenses or whatever the case may be? Most people that run large companies, you can understand where you can maybe look at serious types of write-downs or serious investments that come into your cash, which technically when you look at your income statements, you can go, okay, well, we spent on $25,000 on a capital investment to improve the quality of XYZ, and because of that, we're going to get a higher return on our investments in the future, or our profit in the future, because we've expedited our ability to do things better, quicker, cheaper. So, but keep that in mind. If your business is growing, it's dying. It's amazing to me, even in marketing, this applies. What most people don't realize is if you're not expanding your marketing base, it's dying. There are people that are stopping listening to you. There are people that are going, you know what, I'm tired of his thing. Regardless of how many people follow Chris Voss and the Chris Voss Show on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and all the different social media things that I'm on, there's a lot of people that come to me and they go, oh, Chris Voss, he's the newest whatever and newest toy in the world, and yeah, let's go see what he does, and we really like his stuff. And that happens on a pretty regular basis. And I seem to have a lot of consistent fans that come back, and I'm honored by that. But there's a lot of people that, once they kind of see me for a while, I'm just the same old Chris Voss, and they're off to find the newest, freshest loaf of bread, whatever's out there. And then once they find that, consume that, they move on. So it's real important that you're always growing your marketing, you're always growing your accounts, you're always growing your networking. It's so amazing to me when people stick with the same old, they keep beating the same old bush, and they eventually go, Chris, I don't know why I'm getting results out of the bush. And you're like, well, you beat the leaves off the bush, and yeah, at one time it probably was giving you something, but now you've kind of knocked it dry, and you need to go get some more bushes, and you should have planted some more seeds and grown a hedge. So keep that in mind. Not only do your business need to be expanding, your marketing needs to be expanding too, especially if you're in a business. Obviously, you're not going to have more sales if you don't have more marketing. Your revenues are going to stay flat across the board, and you're going to go, well, how come things aren't expanding? Well, normally you need to put, maybe 30% of your revenues, depends on your industry, depends on how your business model works and achieves profit, but you need to be usually putting a large amount of money into marketing so that you can get new clients, get new business, etc., etc. So make sure you keep those in mind. I see too many people, especially in social media, that sit on their laurels and they just ride it out as much as they can. And not only do they not realize that they're not really marketing to hardly anyone because they've beaten the bush to death, and number two, they haven't expanded their marketing into new avenues or new areas or sometimes new continents, etc., to see what they're doing. I'll share something with you. At one point, we started running Twitter ads that were put in other languages to see how those responded, and etc. So, expand yourself across, number one, maybe the world. Expand yourself across what things are going on in your own neighborhood. But make sure you're always trying to find new clients, trying to expand your marketing, and growing. Because usually if that doesn't grow, the rest of your business won't grow. Make sense? Thanks for coming by the Chris Voss Show.com. And remember, every time you look at those income statements, those revenue sheets every month, think, if my business isn't growing, it's dying. So they're going down, raise the alarm bells if you need to, and make sure you tighten up the ship and raise up the flags and raise up the sails and go, okay, we had a bad month this month. How do we keep this from happening 2 in a row? Because 2 in a row is worse than 1 in a row. Thank you. Bye-bye.